to elect us. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I joined the Alliance Party because I want to build bridges, not barriers. I want to be positive, not negative. It is a strange thing to me that so many of those advocating the Union or United Ireland seem so keen on putting barriers up, not taking them down, sometimes literally. I work in an inner city community, and I know that it's not easy to change attitudes, not least because of the very real legacy of the bitter conflict. I am under absolutely no illusions about how hard it is, for example, to create a local community to bring down a so-called peace wall or even open a gate through it. Yet one of the reasons it is difficult is because there are still those who thrive on promoting difference, and with it insecurity, and with it isolation. Far from helping this isolation, it comes at a cost. Serving only the odd politician or community leader, but absolutely not the community as a whole. This is, of course, a UK parliamentary election. However, this thirst for differentiation, this promotion of insecurity, and this outcome of isolation is then transferred to Northern Ireland's role within the UK. We get the embarrassing begging bowls, as I mentioned there, based on our endless special case. We get the outrageous blood bans and other attempts to legalise homophobia, which mark us out as a social backwater. We get racist attacks in parts of the city, which result in the victim, not the perpetrator, having to move out. We hardly do our argument for special case, any financial status, any good when we deliberately spend money on inefficient and segregated teacher training, when many of them will not even get a job in the sector. We hardly do our case for investment from the rest of the UK any good by deliberately picking on minority groups, and we hardly do our case for influence any good when we cannot protect those who have come here in relatively small numbers compared to the rest of the UK from racism and xenophobia. We are building barriers for ourselves and for everyone. What about being positive, not negative? This constant promotion of difference is all the more frustrating because, in fact, we have a positive story to tell the rest of the UK. If only we could bring down the barriers enough to tell it. Once notorious for the seemingly never-ending cycle of violence, last year Northern Ireland had by far the lowest murder rate in the UK. Once notorious for desperate attempts at state-funded investment, Northern Ireland has boosted its skills profile and attracts comparatively more inward investment than any other region of the UK outside London. Once notorious for illiberal attitudes, Northern Ireland is set to have the best and most successful film and television industry in the UK by the end of the decade. While the large party politicians build barriers, the rest of us in the community, in business and the arts are building bridges. If we are to build bridges, not barriers at local level, and build bridges, not barriers at UK level, we should also build bridges, not barriers at international level. Indeed, Northern Ireland is a bridge. We are a bridge between the English-speaking world and Europe, the two largest trading, educational and cultural blocs in the world. Far from contemplating leaving the EU, which would put up barriers to trade, to educational exchange and to sharing best practice in areas such as health, we should instead be leading the push for Northern Ireland to take a much more direct and central role. This is not because of the obvious direct funding advantages of the Common Agricultural Policy, or the next tranche of peace funding, or the potential improvement to our infrastructure through the European Investment Bank. This is because of the positive contribution we can make. Having learned the hard lessons of building democracy out of violence, and we are by no means all the way there, we have as much to give as we have to take, as much to teach as we have to learn. Our friends and neighbours in the Republic of Ireland have recognised that in a modern world, being peripheral is not just geographical, it's psychological. Rather than just seeing what we can get out of Europe, we should use that old maxim, you get out what you put in. We must remove any threat to building barriers, literally and metaphorically, which would make it harder for us to trade, harder for us to access finance, and harder for us to exchange knowledge, not just for business, but also for efficient public service provision. Instead, we need to build bridges both to continental Europe and the English-speaking world to make ourselves central, not peripheral. I have seen myself at a local level the value of building these bridges. We are giving every single voter in Northern Ireland the chance to transfer that to UK level, and to state unapologetically that we are proud of Northern Ireland and its achievements, and we want to play a positive role in the world beyond the UK. We want to step forward into a shared future, and we mean that not just here in Northern Ireland. So let's be positive, not negative. Let's build bridges, not barriers. Let's go forward, not back. Let's vote Alliance on the 7th of May. Thank you.